Sweet as. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am here with Kevin Locke. How you been, brother?
Yeah, not too bad, bro. How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been busy, obviously with the show, got bloke in a bar, but I've been watching you over the last few years. You have had an interesting career, to say the least. You come on the scene and killed it with the Warriors, and then you went to England. If you could sum up the last few years, how would you sum it up?
A roller coaster.
Yeah, bro.
And one that stopped halfway, around the loop upside down. But no, it's it's been a bit of a journey, and where I am now, I'm in a pretty good place.
And so you debuted in 2009.
Yeah.
And you're obviously from New Zealand. Whereabouts in New Zealand you're from?
Auckland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you grow up playing rugby league or was it union?
Grew up playing rugby league.
Yep.
My family all rugby union orientated, so they're pretty stoked of my next journey. But
Yep.
grew up playing rugby league. Always inspired to play for the Warriors, and you had the opportunity to.
And so you, as you said, you always aspired to play for the Warriors. What was the journey like? As in, when you were growing up, was, obviously you're a naturally gifted footy player. Like you're the kind of footy player that you'll play, kind of that Larry, skillful kind of footy no matter what. Whereas there's some players that have to work a bit harder at it. Has it always been like that for you? Like as a kid, were you always that kind of, footy player?
Yeah, well, I was always quite skillful. I was never seen without a footy.
Yep.
And I'd always go to school, even after school, just passing the ball across the street to, to my cousins or to mates, and it was just the area I was brought up in.
Yep.
A lot of rugby union and rugby league kids who were brought up in that area. Some made it further than others, and Taniela Tuiaki, he was one of my neighbours.
Oh, really?
In my area, so there's a few kids that are talented enough to go further in their own.
Was this South Auckland?
Nah, this is North Shore.
North Shore, okay.
Yeah, so this is they call the
nice place.
Posh, yeah, nice place.
When I was living in Ponsonby, Ponsonby, North Shore was where is that?
Well, Ponsonby's a little bit higher.
So you grew up in that area, so it was just everything footy, like as in, don't get me wrong, I'm sure you took school seriously, but was it footy is where my path is going to lead me kind of thing?
Yeah, well, exactly. In schools, obviously, rugby's a massive sport in New Zealand,
especially back then too,
because of the All Blacks too.
Yeah.
So rugby union, every school would play rugby union. So, I'd play rugby union in school and play rugby league outside of school. So,
yep.
For my family and for me, it was more of like, it was a given pretty much.
Yep.
You had no choice really to play rugby league or rugby union. So I chose league.
Oh, okay. So in your family, it was kind of, this is the best way for me to make a really good living kind of thing coming out of New Zealand?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
I think, there's other family members that have, that are gone in their own direction, and it's not, it's can't even pass a ball, but,
Oh, okay.
In different areas. So, for myself and my own, for my brothers and sisters, we grew up with sport.
Okay, yeah.
And I inspired me personally to become a Warrior. My brother wanted to become an All Black. My sister wanted to become, rugby union, Fern, whatever the women's team we called back then. So she played rugby union, and my brother was real close to making the All Blacks, but
oh wow. Did he play Super 14?
Nah, well he played like NPC, and he played in the New Zealand.
It's a really high quality league as well.
New Zealand 21s and that.
Yep.
I had trials. They used to have trials and whatnot.
Yep.
So he was a talented himself, and at all sports too, softball as well. So we just grew up as a sporty family.
And I guess what do you reckon separated yourself? Was it did you work harder? Was it luck, do you reckon, or what do you reckon was the difference? Or did your sister go on to play union for the All Black, the women's side, or no?
Nah, well that's the thing is different between me and them. We chose different paths. Obviously, they went down the naughty path. They went down to things that influenced them, bad friends. Hang around the wrong group, the wrong crowd. I used to hang around, sort of I wouldn't say a similar crowd, but a crowd that would love playing sport, but they'd party after it as well.
I know what you mean.
But when it would come to the partying, I took myself away from that.
Yep.
And it's probably which is seen me go further than what they have. And
And what do you reckon that was? Like, was there an active thought in your head like, this is, if I want to make my goals a reality, I got to not do this kind of thing? Was it an active thought?
I think it was just because a lot of the local, there was a lot of the parents in that seen a lot of talent in me.
Okay.
Seen me, I was one of standout players in the team, as you would say, and there was a couple others. But for me, I just always would work hard. I'm not the biggest bloke, and there was always people saying I'll be too small to play for the NRL, too small to even play. And then I played senior level at the top in club at 15. So when I played that, I just sort of knew that the maturity in the game for me to ever make the Warriors was to to excel at this level. And I did quite well at a young age, so would see me make it into the 20s and whatnot.
Yeah, because when you did make it in the 20s, you were unstoppable. You were one of the kind of guns of the 20s competition. And you were part of the Warriors side that won the 20s, hey?
Nah, I was the year before.
Oh, the year,
so
okay.
I played the 2008 and then I debuted.
All right, yep.
I played a little half of the year that year, but then I debuted.
Because we were part of the squad that 2009 year. Wasn't there talk that they were trying to get you to play for the... because the Warriors got knocked out?
Knocked out,
and you weren't allowed to or something like that?
Yeah, because I played more than 12 games or something. You had to play more than 12 games and I only played 10.
And I
played the rest of the season.
Yeah, and they were trying to, there was the talk of maybe trying to get you to play one or two just so that you could be a part of that side or something. I could be wrong here. It's been said.
It was similar. I think Russell Packer was in the same boat as well.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. And so you always aspired to play for the Warriors, but did you do athletics or anything like that? Because you're pretty quick.
Oh yeah, I did. In school, I loved athletics.
So good for you, I reckon.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to get back into it now.
Oh really?
Just with a lot of sprint stuff. And there's a Keegan Smith, Brian Smith's son. They run this real movement program.
Okay. Yep.
Actually,
so Keegan Smith. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he helped out with the Roosters. He was the trainer for the Roosters.
Oh, yep.
The year they won it.
Yep.
So I've been working with him, but he's got another colleague down here, Simon, based down in Castle Hill. So get to him and get through all those exercises and those.
I feel like rugby league, they're starting to a little bit, but I don't know. They don't get me wrong. There's so many things you've got to cover in rugby league. Fitness and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like they could be a bit more specific for certain players. As in outside backs. Maybe do a bit more speed and agility work. I don't feel like there's enough put into that.
Yeah, exactly. And being a part of, obviously you've been a part of a few teams, and I've been a part of the Warriors, and obviously gone over to England, and the experience over in England is totally different to what it is back in the NRL.
Is it a lesser level or?
Yeah. I think just the training loads it's quite crazy over there. It's just they don't look at how the players are travelling or.
Oh, they just try and bash old school.
Oh, you just get bashed. so for me, I'm just oh damn.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's certain players like me and yourself. We don't excel in those environments. We excel in the specific speed and agility. We need the kind of fine tuning. Whereas there's some guys that really excel in that bash 'em old school, just get towed up kind of environment.
Yeah. That's. If you look at me, I'm definitely not that.
No, bro, me neither. So you grew up playing rugby league. Was it an easy growing up? Were you was it a pretty good family environment? Was everything sweet and you got all these opportunities, or was it
nah?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Nah, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, it wasn't at all. My family weren't the richest family. Poor. So I was brought up in a bad area, lived in state houses.
Okay.
So it was quite
tough.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yep.
But we got by, and
Yep.
that was the thing, is that we just lived what we had. Would spend to our means, and my parents would have a drink or two now and then. So it was that type of family that I was brought up in. I loved them to bits, but I moved out of home when I was 14, 15.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I lived on the streets for a couple of years, about a year, sorry.
Whoa. Brother, I did not even know this, man.
Yeah, this is...
Fuck, you lived on this, so walk us through it. So you moved out of home. What was the catalyst for that? Was it just not working for you as a young man growing up, or?
Yeah, well, my parents, divorced.
Yep.
Moved out of home. Father left.
Yep.
I thought, he left. I tried to get them back together. He ended up coming back home and then left again. Didn't say why.
Yep.
Thought it was all my fault, so I packed my bags, left, lived on the streets. There was a game called Counter-Strike.
Yeah, Counter-Strike, yes. CSGO's like the recent one. Yeah.
So I was on computer games.
Yep.
So like for me, if I was to play footy on a Saturday,
Yep.
I'd, hopefully get like $10 or something. Like sometimes if you score tries, my old man would give me money.
Yeah.
And I used to score every weekend. So with that $10, I used to go save it, and then like whenever I never used to have a couch to sleep on, I'd go to Counter-Strike and play on Counter-Strike.
And the internet cafes.
Yeah, so you'd be able to play for 12 hours, 10 till 10 in the morning. Or 8 to 8.
Really?
And I used to just stay up, use $10 and stay up and just...
Man, that's crazy. Were you good? You would have been mad.
Oh, yeah. I was
Have you played the new one? Not
nah,
new, it's a few years old.
I haven't been into video games ever since. So, ever since...
Really?
Yeah.
Do you I guess you wouldn't have missed it, because if you miss it, you go and play them. But, okay, so where did you stay when you weren't doing that? Where would
I'd stay at my brother's, stay at my friends, just mates.
It's crazy, man, because David Nofaluma has a similar situation. He was telling us last week that, I don't know if they're similar, but as in he was homeless for a few years. Like, he had nowhere to stay.
Yeah.
Mentally, what's that like for you? Because now you were just saying you're doing a degree in helping the youth, so you would start to kind of you educate yourself in how that would affect you and what your thoughts were. And so when you think back to it now, what were your thoughts in your head, and how did it kind of affect you?
It was sad.
Yeah.
There would be nights where I'd be crying because all I wanted to do was be at home with my mum and dad. And there'd be nights where I'd be pretty excited because my mates would be with me.
Okay.
It was hard because as much as I loved footy, the hard thing was going to footy training on a Tuesday or Thursday, and then what do I do now? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So sometimes I'll walk home, or sometimes friends will be like, "Oh, you want to come chill?" And then I'm like, "Yeah."
And I guess you'd be kind of hoping that they would ask you to come and chill, because otherwise,
yeah. And there was a few mates that I played with. There was a coach when I was playing young. His name was Danny Knight. His family took me in, and took me in, and I stayed there for a few nights, and and then when I played top level and they found out that I was living on the streets and couch chopping, the coach and the manager of that team took me in. So they said, "Oh, do you want to stay? Just come stay." I was like, "Oh yeah." And they got a young daughter and a son, a year younger than me. Said, "Oh, come in. You feel free if you want to stay. It's here. Here's a key. Gave me a key to the house." Wow. And I haven't left since. And then I asked them 2 years after that adopt me, and then they adopt me.
That's amazing, bro. That is amazing.
Yeah. My old man was actually the assistant coach of the 20s when you were there. Frank Harold, the bull dude.
Really? Man, see, when I was at the Warriors, and I've said this before, I so regret my time there, man, because the boys were so good to me, and I just gave them nothing, nothing, and I just it was obviously, I was in a bad relationship. My ex-girlfriend was a psycho, couldn't do anything, literally couldn't do anything, but they're a good bunch of boys, and I just didn't. I never fucking. I wish I had stayed and worked through all the bad form and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, back to yourself. You how did you? What did you do for boots and stuff like that? Did you just have the same boots for 3 or 4 years? All the kit, were you just living out of a bag?
Yeah, or just they pretty much, everyone knows me as a suitcase. I'll just live out of a bag. And I just sort of do
just got by somehow.
So when my wife's in Wellington, I'm in Auckland. I still live out of a bag. I still go there back and forth.
And you just
really settled until I went over to England, settled a bit.
Yep.
But still even then, I was still living out of a suitcase. I left the stuff that I went over with. I didn't even pack it into drawers. I'd still live out of it because
it's just ingrained in you to do that, to live like that.
But now, I'm just a total different person. It was a bit of a massive reality check a couple months ago, and I just thought, well, not playing footy, and everything just hit me all at once. Boom. So it took me back to when I was 15.
Yeah.
What did I do to make it? So just going through that again.
Man, that's amazing to go from if you were statistically speaking the chances of you succeeding are so small, like so small. The guys in your same position would, I mean, I hate to say it, but they would most likely either be in jail, or they would have some kind of problem, and yet you seem to find a way. What do you reckon it was? What when you had those moments where you were like, oh, fuck footy, or I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to train hard here, or was footy the only thing that you were like, this is my only chance here to make something of myself?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. I
based my life just pretty much, I've got to make it.
Far out.
And then it was just like a goal.
Yep.
And then, I've asked friends that, because I played with a lot of older people. My dad, my foster dad, Frank, I'd ask him to help me, and he helped me. Yep. They guided me, really closely, and they just supported me the whole way. And, I already had a dream, and then they just pretty much took it in with them and helped me through it. So they helped me get there pretty much.
That's amazing. And so, I guess when you asked, what was the moment like when you did say, "Can you adopt me?" to your father now? Was it? What was that moment like? I mean, you don't have to speak on it if you don't want it. Like, that can be a private moment. But did that mean something to you to do that?
Yeah. Well, they didn't expect it.
Yeah.
We were just sitting at the table, didn't I? I remember it like it was yesterday, and I said, "Oh, would you guys adopt me?" And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Would you guys adopt me?" And then I was like, "Is that what you want?" And I said, "Yeah." And they're like, "You need to speak to your parents."
Yep.
And then my father, he said, "Yeah, I'd love you to." And then my mother was a bit stubborn. No.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, I took a...
I had to kind of talk to her about it and be like, this is what I want.
And now
it's all good.
Both families are happy.
That's amazing, bro. That is amazing. So when you did make... Okay, so it was about round 10 or 11 when you made your debut in 2009. I can remember because I got dropped and you started playing. What was that phone call like to them?
Yeah, it was tough. Like, it was hard because I wanted to surprise them, but I just couldn't keep a surprise.
Yeah.
And I just said, I'm playing NRL this week. They're like, bullshit. They're like, no, I am. They're like, why? And I was like, I don't know. The coach just rang me and he goes, you could be playing this week. Yep. And he goes, they said, well, don't tell me until it's definite.
Yeah.
And then I did captain's run. And I said, yeah, I'm actually playing tomorrow. And they're like, oh, yeah. And I was like, yeah. And I just in tears.
You played and you killed it. You played the Tigers and you killed it.
Yeah. Played well. Yeah,
played mad. I think you made like 2 line breaks and then it was off to the races for you. Like, you were the next kind. I mean, you were already going to play NRL. I mean, you may not have thought that at the time, but from when we were a part of the kind of first graded squad, it was already talk that you would play NRL. It was just a matter of when you played NRL. Yeah. And I'm sure you didn't know that, but because it always feels like that when you're not playing NRL, it always feels like you might not play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, you always were going to. So the hype kind of, I guess, doubled. You went from a really good 20s player to playing really good in a Warriors side. Well, I guess, what was that like dealing with that, being because you making your debut and then you played really well? What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was mind blowing. Really, like, it was for me. It was like, obviously a dream come true, and then everything else that come with it, I just didn't know how to handle.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, wow, like...
Yeah, and it's kind of like you're outside looking in at yourself kind
of
thing.
You just... So, like, when you look at someone that's just had the scene running, like, I remember, you look at, like, Stacey Jones, and you look, I'm not as high as him, but you look at someone like that has to deal with a lot of things, like, I was going through it, like, I was just like, wow, like, this feels so good, but when's it going to feel bad?
Yeah.
When does that happen? And then it did, like, and I just wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
So, there's obviously these highs and lows, and then it's amazing when you're there and on your highs, but it does hurt when you're down low.
Oh, mate, because you've always got that point of reference of being so high.
Yeah.
So when you are down, you're looking back up at where that you were. Whereas, like, if you're always just kind of here in your mind, it's crazy. So okay, so you made your debut, and it was the next year that got picked for the Warriors? Sorry, the
Kiwis. Yeah.
Kiwis.
Yeah.
It was the next year you got picked for the Kiwis.
Yeah.
But you went with the squad the first year.
Yeah,
hey?
I went with 2009. At the end of 2009, I went on tour.
On tour with them.
Yeah.
So did you ever sit back and be like, this is mental? Like, literally, so you made your debut when you were 18 or 19? 19.
Yeah.
So 5 years ago you were homeless.
Yeah.
and then
before that.
5 years later you're travelling with a Kiwi side. Not only a Kiwi side that's a normal Kiwi side, a Kiwi side that has just won the World Cup.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, it was crazy. Like, and England, like,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Oh, so you wouldn't have been out of the country
Nah.
before then?
No. Only
What
to
was that
Australia.
like?
Yeah, it was alright, but no, it was pretty good. You know, it was, especially like mix and mingling with, you know, boys from other teams.
Yeah.
And all NRL players that you look up to. You're like, far out, like Adam Blair, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like then I
100%.
was just like Adam Blair, Isaac Luke, and
Yeah.
all them type of players, and you know, I was just buzzing. It was a massive buzz, and
Yeah.
you know, even though I just spent, you know, the whole tour getting flogged,
Just getting fitness.
didn't mind it at all. I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like, I don't mind. I'm only 79 kilos.
Yeah,
You know,
but you're
running hundreds. I'm sweet.
yeah,
So,
you would run them all day. That's the same
So-
thing as well, bro. When I first came into grade and I was like 75 kilos, I would never get tired. As soon as I put on like that, you know, 5-6 kilos, all of a sudden my fitness went.
Yeah,
It's crazy, eh?
It's like now you're just like far out, struggling.
So it would have been a buzz to call your family that had taken you in and you'd played when you made your debut. But when you made your call to say that you were part of the Kiwis squad, what was that phone call like?
Yeah, that was something special. Like my whole
'Cause-
family and that were just overwhelmed, and
Yep.
I just like, you know, you deserve it. And, you know, you've worked hard to get there, and
Yeah.
you know, you just keep working hard. Don't let it stop now. And you know, I just took that all, embraced that all in, and enjoyed my time on the camp. And you know, there wasn't any expectation that I was going to play.
Yep.
There wasn't a word that I was going to play, but for me, it was the experience. Like, go away and experience what I could have.
Yep. And when you first actually did make your debut for the Kiwis, what was that like when you ran on the field with that black jersey? You did the haka.
Yeah, it was good because Alex Glenn, I grew up with Lexi.
Yeah, he's a legend. I love him.
Yeah, and you know, I made it 2009. He did too. We both went away and played. And, you know, he made it 2010, but then got injured.
Yep.
Didn't play. And then we both made it 2011. We both debuted the same day. So.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
which was pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%.
So like my parents and his parents went over, and it was pretty much special. We stood next to each other and
did the
and the
haka.
national anthem and the haka and whatnot. So, you know, it was pretty good for us to be able to debut and growing up together through the same club.
Yeah.
Through Northcote, and then having a debut together in the Kiwis.
He's a legend, man. He's like, even though he's highly rated and he's, you know, been the captain of the Broncos and everything like that, I still reckon he's the most underrated player in the NRL.
Oh, big time.
There's not a position that he can't play. You could stick him in the friggin' front row, he'd go all right.
Yeah.
You could stick him at fullback and he'd get the job done.
Yeah.
Like, he's a gun,
He used
bro.
to be a fullback back home.
Oh, did he?
Fullback half.
Fullback half.
And he
Lexi's,
can goal kick too. He used to goal
bro,
kick.
he can do everything.
Left foot.
He literally can do everything. He's a good dude. Actually, he used to crash on his couch when I'd have a fight with like my ex-girlfriend. I'd catch on his couch and she's like, man, I need someone to start. I got to be out of the house. And he'd just be like, of course, brother, of course. But okay, so when you look back, so those 2009 to 13, was that the good years for you? Were they the good years? Like everything was good, happy, and then it was 13 and 14 that you struggled, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think 2009, 2010. You know, like if I was thinking, if we'll talk about football.
Yeah.
2009, 2013, there was a bit of a dusty period with my footy.
Yep.
2010, 2011, I had a peak. At the start of the season, I was a bit rusty. Had a peak 2011. 2012 went alright. 2013, and then peaked again. So like, you know, it was like peak.
Yep.
You know, but with off-field stuff, you know, there was off-field stuff along the way, and you know, sort of set me back a bit. And, you know, messed with my head a bit. And
So what was that?
through those years?
Was that contract talks, or was that in off-field stuff, as in like maybe
just
relationships and
off-field.
stuff?
Just like some of it, one of it was relationships. One
Yep.
of, you know, just driving. You know, driving while disqualified.
Yeah.
You know, everyone thought that I was drink driving. Everyone labels me as this guy that drink drived, never drink. You know, drink.
It's crazy what the media can do.
Yeah.
Literally, and there's no recourse.
Like it hurt, it used to hurt me.
Yep.
But now I'm just like, well, I know what the truth is, and
Yep. There's
yeah,
nothing
get
you
on
can
with
do.
life. get on with it. So
And the worst thing is, if you go out and actively say this is what really happened, a lot of journalists will spin that to like as if you're whinging or complaining about something, or that like, you know, it's crazy to see. And I deal with a lot of journalists, and a lot of them are really good, but there's a couple that there's no accountability for things they write or say. There's none, and I just reckon it's bullshit. It's bullshit that you can, you know, you being labelled a drink driver when you never did.
Yeah.
Like you should be able to sue for shit like that. You know what I mean? You shouldn't be allowed to write things that are not true.
Exactly.
Like I don't understand why they continue to get away with it.
Because that not only does that like jeopardize, not jeopardize, but not only does that ruin my image, it just puts an image on me that I become this drink driver to kids. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not just their dad, like, you know, a young fella that's gonna, you know, there's a guy that's gonna come to me, he's a drink driver, gonna tell his son, oh, he drink drives, son, he's bad.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep, 100%.
So like I've been out, you know, they're like, oh, I hope you haven't got your keys in your pocket. So like little things like that.
Yeah.
But now, like, you know, like over the last couple of months, I've been working hard. You know, go to church, go to do youth groups, and I went to rehab thanks to Darius Boyd.
Yep. Okay. Really.
Yeah.
What was just because you've seen him do it, or?
No, I shared a good conversation with him.
Oh really? I used to live with him for like 3 or 4 years. We grew up in the same area.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was going through a bad patch, and like I was just footy. It was all footy.
So what year was this?
No, just recently.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sweet. All right.
So so then I just reached out to him,
and he was really good about it. Like spoke to you about it.
Oh mate, he's unbelievable.
Because he had a real tough upbringing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So wow, that's amazing. That's good that it's
But
good.
I'll get to that.
Oh really?
I'll speak about that.
Okay, sweet. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about when you rang him and actually, no, we'll continue going along the path we're going.
Yeah.
So 2013, you're playing good footy, and you're essentially, from outside looking in, it looks like Kevin Locke is the full time, like you're going to be the long term, fullback, possibly six. What happened?
That was a hard thing. Is that like I played my ass off to be able to go, because I heard rumours in April that they're going to sign Sam Tompkins.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, no, you're not, because I'm going to perform.
Yep.
So I started performing, made the Kiwi side, the World Cup team. Was, you know, pretty much told that I'll probably play one game against France.
Yep.
Played that one game, and then I played every other game ever since after that. But
Okay.
what hurt was that, you know, they bring Tompkins over, and then you know, I did a partial tear in my ACL in the World Cup final. Come back from that, and then I was playing hooker.
Oh, bro.
Just to get me out on the field.
Yeah.
Playing hooker off the bench.
But that's just stupid.
Yeah, it was. Like my first time I got on the field playing hooker, first game, ran out for a drop kick, for a drop out, and I was standing underneath the post. Boom, drop out. Dane Toos was the first person. Just looked straight at me like that. I tackled him, but I'm just like, I can't keep up with this for another 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. For like the whole game, that's the thing. It's not the initial tackles. It's the constantly tackling at that big level. You would have been what, 3 kilos?
Yeah, that.
Wringing wet.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. So I get. Yeah, what was that like for you? Was it kind of doing what's best for the team, or was it, you know?
Well, I think Matt Elliott just needed to put me somewhere.
Yeah.
And he said, I want to find you a spot, find you a place. They thought about, you know, putting Tommy to hooker when Friendly comes off, put Tommy to hooker, Sammy to half, me to fullback. He was going to do it like that. But then he goes, oh, no, you just go to hooker. Right, sweet, mate.
Yeah, sweet. I'll just friggin' get smashed.
I'll just grab my Steeden shoulder pads out of my wardrobe and put them back on.
Strap your head up. Okay, so that happens. And then Sam Tompkins, that's his name, right? Never lives up to the hype. But he continually gets started. Was that frustrating? Was that really frustrating for you?
Yeah, it was. It was. Like, he, you know, like, I know him personally, and he's an awesome bloke.
Yeah.
You know, me as, you know, as an opposition, as a...
Position-wise, yeah.
Position-wise, like, you know, like, I thought, you know, I could have done the job better at times. You know, it was just tough. It was frustrating because having to play somewhere at hooker where I have never ever played in my life at the highest level of the game is only going to make me look, like if I wasn't going to perform in that position, then it's only going to make me...
You look worse and your value goes down.
And then my value goes down. But so my option was to leave and to shoot off to England. So I did that halfway through the year.
And so this is another thing that a lot of, I guess, fans don't realise. So for let's say 15 rounds, you play hooker.
Yeah.
And you do that for the team, you sacrifice for the team and you play that hooker role, but there's never any in the future, there's never any like, okay, because you played hooker for us for this long, we appreciate what you've done, we'll repay that. There's never, do you know what I mean? So your personal value continues to drop, but the value the club offers you drops with it, and you're like, well, hang on a minute, you put me in this spot and yet you're making me, I'm taking double costs of this, like value wise and also team wise kind of thing. So, I guess, was it when you did decide to go to England? Was it purely positional wise, or was it because the Warriors just?
It was purely positional wise. Like I wanted to play fullback. And it was it was just rough. Like it was just a tough. Like they made it hard for me, and I didn't help myself at times there too. So the frustration against them was, just didn't work out. So the best thing for me was just to leave. So
what was the catalyst for deciding England? I mean, plenty of other NRL clubs would have taken you.
Well, Canberra were keen at the time.
Yeah.
For my manager at the time was saying so.
Yeah.
I took going to England to Salford. I took the opportunity of playing fullback, going straight over there, jumping into fullback, and I went over there. I enjoyed my first few months. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then shit just kicked into play, and it was just like, whoa.
Because like that, I've only read a few articles at the time when this was all happening. Some owner owed certain amounts of money, but then apparently you owed this money. So how did that all about? The first few months you kill it, but then why did this? What happened? What was the reason for it to start going bad?
Yeah, well, he just wasn't paying me. He'd pay me, I'll get like £1,000.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, hey mate, where's the rest of it?
Yeah.
And then be like, oh yeah, I'll put another £4,000 in today, and then I'll do like, I don't know, 3,000. Like it was just real, like not dodgy, but it was just
not consistent. There was no.
It wasn't consistent. Like it was consistent when I got over there. I was just getting every pay was boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then I was like, sweet, end of the year, come back to New Zealand, went back, and then got to like Christmas, New Year's, and then I didn't get paid. Like no December pay, and I was like, am I getting paid in December? They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna double it. You're gonna get paid in January, and I was like, oh okay, sweet. January come, oh no pay, and I was just like, oh, what's going on? And then it was just, I got into like how would you say it? Just help me out here with you're not getting paid. It was just
okay. Like you couldn't. It was awkward for you to go to him and say, "You owe me this much money, but I'm paying for you at the same time," kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you just answered it, and it was hard because like I'll turn up to training.
Yeah.
I'd go out there like, I'd give my best.
Yeah.
And then not get paid, like, and like I got injured. And
that gives them more reason
the first
not
game,
to pay you.
Yeah. And then he goes, oh, we need you to play in the St. Helens game.
Yeah.
And him and St. Helens have this rivalry.
Yeah.
And the doctor said, mate, you cannot play. And I had to overrule the doctors and say, oh, I can play because I feel alright. So he organised me to get 8 injections into my back for the game. I got them. And then first 5 minutes gone, and then he goes. But before that, he goes, if you don't play this weekend, rings me. I've already got a fullback to replace you. You can think about going home. That's what he said to me. So you think about like me. I'm like, wow.
You want your money that he owes you.
I want my money.
Yeah.
I don't want to let him down.
Yeah.
Don't want to let the team down.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let them all down
by playing.
Yeah. But I'm going to lose my career if I don't play. So like it was just...
and at this stage, he had kind of... You believed what he was telling you.
Yeah.
At this stage, you weren't past the point of like... You weren't like, this guy's fucking me around. You were still at the point of like, oh, I believe everything he's telling me. Whatever he's saying to me, we're in a good relationship still at that point. So for people that might be like, well, surely you wouldn't believe this guy by now, but still at that point, you had a good relationship kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing is that like the trainer's left. I still speak to the trainer now. He's left.
Yep.
He's now the England trainer.
Okay.
Richie, I speak to him and he goes, I've got some gossip about what's going on at Salford. So like it's cool that we have that type of relationship, and I gained good relationships with the trainers and that.
Yep.
The coach that was there, Yeston Harris, I've had run-ins with him because he was like, mate, I've been told that I have to play you. When he left because of sick leave.
Yep.
We were just I had gone to Wakefield after that, and he goes, "Oh, do you want to catch up and whatnot?" And ended up into just hearing about how he left. He was pretty much forced out.
So it's just a poorly run club.
It was really poor. Now that Tim Sheens is there, like I think it's
sweet.
Sweet, but apparently there's all this the salary cap thing that's going on. They've breached their salary cap. Anyway, it's all irrelevant to what that's in my past.
Because like I read in the paper that when you did leave and you were like, no, I'm done, I haven't been paid. And if this happened, I don't know if this happened. This is just what I've read. So obviously I don't know this full story. But when you did say, that's it, I'm done, you're not paying me, like as if I'm going to continue paying. Is that what happened, or how did it all end, kind of thing?
So I got a hold of the RFL.
Yep, rugby.
Yeah, over there.
Yep. So they're like Players Association.
Yeah, Players Association, and this Jeff Burrow, he's on the association. He's one of like the managed lawyers. Got a hold of him, and he helps out players in this type of situation. So, they granted me a release, and then I said, okay, sweet, I'm gonna leave. And then they heard that on the sign with St. Helens, and they're like, oh no, we're not gonna sign it. So they started mucking around with things, and then I was just like, oh, that's it, I'm done. Yep. Termination right now, boom.
Yeah.
And then they terminated it, and then.
So, but did they pay everything they owed you or not?
No, I went to court and that.
Yeah.
And then they come to an agreement, and then they were saying, "Oh, we'll give you $5,000 a month for what we owe you." Man. So it was just like they're trying to make it real awkward. Like
real hard.
Real hard, yeah.
Because the dude, the owner was quoted in the paper saying things like, "You owe them money" and stuff, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that he had the power to. He was just using what his mouth does, is that talks a lot of crap.
Oh, okay. So he was just trying to make it look worse for you. So
well, he's got a whole club that he's got to run by, and he's got I wasn't the only player going through it. So like you look at Corey Patterson that's left the club. You look at Reggie Chase left the club.
Yep.
These other players that have left the club due to the same sort of treatment that I was getting.
Yep.
But not on the same amount of money that I was. Like I went over there on a good wicket.
Yeah, because you were in your peak of your career.
Yeah, so like I wasn't. I wanted to fight for every penny that I was earning.
100%.
So
it's like it's a job. You're doing a job.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not. I'm not. It's not my fault that I got injured. It's part of the sport. You still pay me.
Oh, bro, you can't just not pay a bloke because he gets injured.
Imagine if I did my ACL, I'd probably tear everything up. Then I still had another 3 years there.
Yeah.
So for me, and moving forward, and in the England laws with the lawyer Richard Kramer, I've still got. I can still sue him for potential earnings.
Yeah.
Because look at me now. I am not playing.
Yeah. Don't have a club.
Yeah. And it's affected my future earnings. So
100%.
Potentially, I could be earning. I could still be playing.
Yeah, and also I guess you could make the legal argument that potential clubs, because they don't know the full story, might be like, we don't want to go near that kind of thing.
Well, that's the thing, is that me coming back here to the NRL, Kevin Locke, he's this guy that's not trusted.
Yep.
He's this guy he's only going to come. All that comes with him is trouble.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So that's my image.
Yeah.
To everyone, to coaches and to clubs.
Yep.
And that's not cool, but that will, there's truth behind everything. Yeah, sweet. I have a bit of a bad boy to me, and I do have a bit of, more of it a good boy. And now, over the last couple of months, I've just been trying to
work on that.
Work on that. Like this image of Kevin Locke, don't drink. I go to church.
Yeah.
I get involved with a lot of youth stuff. I do.
Just trying to be a good person.
Just to be generally a good person. If I make it in footy again, if it was to be NRL or rugby, then so be it. But I've committed to rugby, and I'm looking forward to it.
Heaps opportunity, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
heaps opportunity.
you know, if rugby league ever comes about again, then
Yeah.
you know, like I'll, you know,
Jump at it.
I don't know. You
Oh,
know,
really?
well, I'm starting to enjoy rugby, so like.
Oh, okay. Yep, I see what you mean. Like, even if there was a 50-50 call between rugby union and rugby league, it wouldn't be an easy decision to take that league because you are enjoying union so much.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Yeah.
so I think about the opportunities that I do have, and rugby's given me the opportunity now that I've trusted that I can,
Yeah.
you know, to get my career back on path. You know, rugby league hasn't, so
That's cool, man.
You
That's
gotta
crazy.
respect that.
Man, talk about a roller coaster, eh? Like, seriously.
Oh, yeah.
And so, okay, so all of that happens, and mentally, you've got to be like, fuck this, like this. This is just too much. This is too much. And then, what was the decision? Okay, I need to get back to us. You came back to New Zealand first.
Yep.
And then you come to Australia to play union, or
Yep.
to test the water, see if anyone wanted a fullback winger, and then that didn't happen. So or was the union there as well? Like, what was it?
Yeah, so like I come back from England. Got married in December.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I went back to New Zealand. Wife, you know, got a contract in New Zealand with Wellington, and then I thought about, okay, I just had surgery, shoulder surgery.
Mm.
And I thought about, okay, what am I gonna do now? And I didn't know what to do. Like, I was helpless. Like, I needed to do rehab. Had to like pay for my own rehab and all that sort of type of stuff. So it was tough for me financially.
Mm.
But then, like, my head started going. I was just like, I started going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going crazy.
Because you're like, do I go play footy again? Like, what's my purpose? What am I even here for? Like, what's my purpose of my life right now?
Yeah, and that was actually, I felt worthless.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, and then I was just like, well, you know, I started going out and drinking and whatnot, and then my wife said, mate, you need to pull your head in.
Yep.
Like, seriously, you need to pull your head in. You need to go to rehab. You need to do something about it. You need to go get help.
Yep.
So I rang Darius Boyd. I said, mate, you know, you need to help me. Like, I'm having a tough time with my wife.
Yep.
You know, I got a hold of him through Alex.
Lexi,
yep. Yeah, then I spoke to him on the phone, and, you know, he spoke to my wife, and, you know, if it wasn't for him, and I'll be honest, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't, you know, I probably would have lost my wife.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And like, you've never spoken before, really, or anything like that.
Nah.
And
just playing against it.
Wow, man. That's and so was he just completely? What was a phone call like?
This was like before. This was the day before the day of the Anzac test. He rang my wife and like had a conversation with her.
Wow.
Like about like, you know, like, I've spoken to Kevin.
Yep.
This is what I did to get through.
Yep.
It's hard months, and, you know, my wife was just like, you know, if I see a change, then, because she just thought, honestly, she just thought I was going to be lazy, drink, go out, do that, be that type of person. She, you know, no one wants that type of person in their life.
Yeah, 100%.
So, well, this is the first time I've spoken about it. So it's like, for me, it's I couldn't thank Darius more enough, and I always want to text him and say, bro, you know,
thanks so much. Yeah.
But I don't want to be that annoying person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. For 100%. Like, even, I mean, I know it's a completely different level, but when, you know, guys come on this show and help me out by coming on the show, like, I want to text them, like, bro, I just thanks so much. But I'm like, man, I don't want to fucking like be that annoying dude that you did a favor for, and then you keep coming back and like, I know exactly what you mean. So, what was it just because like you'd seen Darius and you'd respected him so much as a player that you were like, if he's been through it, he would know what I'm thinking here.
Yeah, well, I knew what he'd gone through. Like, I heard about his story, and I heard what he had done to get help wise. Not in specific detail, but I knew that he had gone to rehab. So for me, I was just like, do I need to refer to that? Do I need that? So I rang him and I said, this is what's going on. He said, mate, it's up to you. Do it like I did it. I thought it helped me.
Yeah.
You know, she come in and supported me. So the moment I got off the phone, boom, I rang a rehab place. Rang up, said, I need help.
Yep.
Enrolled, did 2.5 weeks there. Come out. Like, it was hard. But I just let everything out.
Yep.
And, you know, I was just, when I come out of it, I felt really good. But through that period there, like, Charlie Gunn from the Warriors goes to church, and he just started, I heard good things about him, so got in contact with him, and I said, can you help me find God? Like, last thing in the world that I wanted to ever thought of doing.
Yep.
Did that. Now I'm all into that. Like, I've just moved over here. Well, first week I got over here, straight to church, out to Hillsongs, out in Balcombe Hills.
Yep.
Amazing out there. I watched Kevin DeGuama get baptised.
Oh, really?
On Sunday, yeah.
Wow, I've seen a video of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I was with Tim Banner. Tim Banner was there. So, I'm going to start going along to that, get involved in that. So, it's been like a pretty good journey. Like, I feel real good inside about myself. I've been thinking more about life after football. With this, enrolling in, getting accepted for once.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro.
To do this youth diploma. So, doing that and working with this guy Anthony that does Clastic Quarters. He's a building. He does builders, like the building.
Diplomas for builders and stuff like that.
Yeah, but no, he does. He's a builder, but he does like renovations. He does it on.
Okay.
He's doing Maloney's house, and he's doing a few of the.
Okay. Yep.
So working with him, start with him on Monday, and it's like just
That's
things
cool.
that are going to keep my mind busy.
Yep.
And thinking, it's not all about football. It's not all about.
100%.
But if I do get the opportunity to play professional again,
yep,
I'm going to appreciate it a lot more than I did. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's about
100%. You realise how lucky we were to be where we were, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not all about like, I could never go back and play professional football again. So that's, it'll be tough, but it's not the end of the world. So it's, my passion's to be able to work with youth. I've been through hard things.
Yep.
And if I know that I've helped a kid to get to play professional rugby league.
Yep.
And they're struggling, I don't want them to take the path that I've taken. So it's about trying to be able to work with that. And my wife's interested in it as well. So
that's good. So
it
you
works
said
out for both of us.
she signed a contract with Wellington. Does she? Yeah. So is she like an athlete or like?
She played for Australia.
Okay, what rugby league?
No, netball.
Oh, I was saying.
She used to play rugby league. She used to bash all the boys. Yeah. She used to play with Ben Teo and that.
Oh, Teo, really Teo. Okay, so she's a professional netball player.
Yeah, she played for Australia. But she's just given her alliance to New Zealand because her mum holds in New Zealand.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a rivalry there, New Zealand and Australia in the netball.
Yeah, I know.
Is it what are they called?
Ferns, yeah.
Yeah, Ferns. Can't believe I knew that. How did I know that? So it sounds like obviously you've been through your hard times with her, but it sounds like when you met her, she has been that kind of foundation for you to be able to step back and be like, this isn't what I'm doing isn't right, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, it is like pretty much, man.
Yeah.
Like she's a professional athlete herself at the highest level in her game. So, she knows what comes with it. So she knows there's expectations. She knows that there's times when you can go and enjoy yourself, and there's times when you just need to sort of back off. So for me, I'm just she's 10 weeks dry. So it's, like with no alcohol.
Yep. Feeling $1 million?
I feel amazing, man.
Oh, bro.
It's just, and I like, my goal is just to not drink at all.
Yeah.
Like if I was to have a drink, my wife would be around and it could be a glass of wine or something, but till then, I don't even know when that would be. So
yeah.
Well, and it's not anytime soon. So it's cool for me to know that what I want in life, and if it's get the opportunity to play at the highest level again, then I certainly wouldn't be in the position I have been.
And take that 2.5 weeks that you did go into the rehab.
Yeah.
What's the mental journey for you like there? Are you taking yourself back to when you were a kid and reflecting on maybe these are the reasons why, because of those years when I didn't have a family kind of structure, or what was those 2.5 weeks like for you?
Yeah, well, interesting you asked. Those 2.5 weeks, they give you the opportunity to speak. You learn from other people's experiences. Obviously, when you go to rehab, you get put in different areas. People go to rehab for prescription drugs or drugs.
Yeah, okay.
And alcohol. Some go into relationships. Some go into others. But mine was to do with relationships, because more than anything, it was about I wanted to learn about my relationship.
Yeah.
And what was going on and
be
what she
better.
didn't like.
Yep.
Which helped me them to relate. Hey, you need to cut this out. This is what you've been holding on to.
Mm.
So there's a whole lot of things that I'd been holding on to from my childhood, all the way through to that moment.
Yep.
And then for me, like, it was true because, you know, for like to be this person that, like, and I'm not gonna lie, because I've you know I've experienced it and I've been through it. Like, when I was going through things, like I was living my life like I was sort of living it as like a lie. So like if I was to fit in with people, I'd, you know, or to say something, I'd be dishonest about it. You know, at times I'd be honest, but at times I'd be dishonest. So, you know, like, for me, that meant nothing, because for what I held in for 18 years and through all my life, it meant something to me that if I could do that, what's hiding a lie?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
like, for example, you know, like if I had, you know, said,
I went to this place instead of that place, or like I
Yeah,
was
but
out with the boys drinking, and we got home at 2 instead.
yeah,
You got
but
home at
that's
5.
more like, but like saying, oh no, I went to a girl's house. Oh no, I didn't go to the girl's house, but she knew I went to the girl's house. No, I didn't. No, I didn't go to the girl's house.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I didn't go to that girl's house.
But
I could hold it in, and I'll tell myself, hold it in, and lie to her, lie to myself, lie to others, and it could be a girl's house, could be like even my mum even asking.
Yeah.
And then just forget, like, this is what's going on in my life. I can hold that in. Like, I don't want to say what's actually happened to me, but
Yep.
it was like, obviously, like, of my wife that know, and it's terrible, but for me it's just like, well, I've held that in for 18 years. I
Yep.
let it out. Well, now, like, yeah, like, this is why. And for now, like, I feel I can't hide anything. Like, I don't have no reason to hide anything.
Oh, okay. So as in you hid those emotions from yourself of when you were a kid,
Yeah.
and so, you know, that was a kind of a pattern going on in your life constantly growing up, because you constantly hiding things from yourself. When it comes to dealing with other people, you're hiding it not only from them but from yourself as well, kind of thing.
Well, just like a short story, but not into too much detail. Something happened to me when I was a kid.
Yep.
I was told if I was to say anything,
Oh, okay.
I'll get my balls cut off and get fed to the dog.
Yep.
So, yeah, something happened to me.
And that's traumatizing. Yeah, mentally.
Bad.
Yep.
Gang affiliated.
Yep.
I've held it in for all these years. No one ever knew. My father knew.
Yep.
Kept it secret between us. I held it for that 18 years, and then for some reason, I went to church the night before I went to rehab. Before I went Sunday, went to church the Monday.
Yep.
I released it, like, I was just let it out, didn't say anything. I just thought, no, I was just like talking to myself, got it let out. Next day I spoke about it, boom, and I just felt incredible.
Really?
It was like they say miracles in church,
Yeah.
and it wasn't like a miracle. It was a miracle. It was crazy.
That's crazy to think that, like to 18 years holding on to it, and then you let it out, and it feels like a physical letting out or something.
Yeah, it does. Like, it feels like I feel really good. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. It's amazing how many like things that happen in our childhood stay with us for so long, and you think that you might think back, like, as if a thing happened when I was a child could stay with me for so long, kind of thing.
And it's like, it's cool because it's made me realise, like, I'm like, man, I want to play professional football. Like, I want to be this guy that plays. I want to make it. I want to make money. Like, now I'm just like, cool. Like, if I make it, like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Do you have any favourite moments playing footy that you kind of remember, positive, happy moments?
Yeah.
Or good or cool stories that you remember on the field that happened or anything like that?
Yeah. When I hit the post, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, who was that against?
Roosters.
And you hit your hip, hey?
Yeah, did my hip, yeah. Fuck. Like, it was cold, but it was like one of those moments, because before the game, Ivan said to the team, he goes, everyone go around and say something, what you're going to do tonight. And I just said, I'm just going to give 100%. And that's what I did. Like
Yeah.
even after the game, he goes, "Mate, I tell you now, what you said, you lived up to." So I was, that's that was pretty cool to, just say I could do that every game. But it was
Walk us through the moment in your head when it was all happening, like when it all happened. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? You know what I mean?
Well, I certainly wasn't thinking that I was going to hit the post, but I knew when I kicked it through, I was going to get there before the opposition were. And I knew I'd won the game. I was just, when I looked at the ball, all I was thinking that please make it to the line so it doesn't, because I was hoping it would just go a little bit further past the post so I wouldn't hit it, but
You just like, fuck
so
it.
it stopped like 30 centimetres away and just had to dive.
Both.
What else? But no, apart from that, like I've had, some pretty good moments.
Good highlight, really.
Yeah.
Got a mad highlight.
Probably like the best ever moment was the week before I debuted against Canberra.
Yep.
And I kicked it along the sideline.
Oh yeah, I remember that actually.
I caught it in the end goal and kicked it, grubbed it out.
And then, so you wasn't there a time though you did that in first grade and you got tackled out?
Yeah.
And you would have scored?
I would have scored.
Fuck. It was against Bulldogs maybe? Luke Patton tackled you out? I don't know. Could be.
I tried it against Melbourne in the semi-final. But I got an earful too.
You what? Got an earful from Ivan?
Walks come onto the field and he goes, "Tell Nobby to F and this and F and that." I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, man. First tackle too.
You know, I reckon like Ivan Cleary should have never left the Warriors.
Mate.
He was good for the Warriors.
I obviously, Warriors had some coaches, but, I highly respect Ives. Like, he was massive for my career, I think.
Yep.
And it's pretty sad to not see him in the game. It was pretty cool when he come onto the Kiwis. He was the assistant coach
Oh,
of the
really?
Kiwis. Yeah,
That's cool.
So, he's a good person. I'm pretty stoked that his son's getting a shot in first
100%.
grade. So
He's a first grade coach. Like he should.
Oh,
be,
he is.
He should be coaching somewhere.
he's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like,
He is. Yeah. So I guess now, like looking forward, we've spoken about it a bit, but is your main focus just to be happy? Like, is that, you know what I mean? Like, I know it sounds pretty obvious, but like, I mean, I've been through shit too, but the main thing for me now is just to be happy. However that means being happy, that's the goal. Is it for you or?
Yeah, it is. It's like for me, it's like just to be happy. Live life, but just to make my son proud too.
Yeah.
I don't want him to think he's getting to that age where he's sort of, he's 3, but he's quite a clever 3.5-year-old. But he's getting to that age that, his dad's not always around. He's travelling a bit, and he's plays rugby and.
Oh really?
Yeah, he knows if he's good or a bad boy. So, for me, it's been a role model to him first and foremost, making him proud, and then also just making my wife and family proud, and what I do. They don't care about if I'm this professional rugby league player. All they care about is if I'm happy and if I'm doing all the right things, and then my wife's just proud of me for doing that. So that's my main focus, and then everything else will fall into place hopefully.
Man, what a crazy ride! Like it's just mental. I do hope you do play. I mean, if you want to play in Union, but I hope you play. Fuck man, there's plenty of teams that you at your best I could easily see you in. Easily. Who needs a fullback? Fuck, there's plenty of teams. Dragons. Do you want to let's ring the Dragons, bro? You should be sweet. Bro, I know Mary, the coach. We just ring. It'd be sweet.
Yeah, I met him actually. He's a good
guy, man. He's a good guy. I actually ask all the boys this: favorite rapper of all time.
Favorite rapper?
Yeah, of all time. What?
Oh.
You can do current and past, so there's a lot of guys that struggle with the, but, obviously I get a lot of Tupacs, had a few Eminem's my number one, but...
Yeah, Eminem's everyone's number one, but, I like Biggie.
Yeah, he's good.
Because he's got a bit of it's not so like everyone else, everything with rappers is, most of it's about the truth, so it's, with him it's pretty...
It's like party.
It's got a good vibe to it.
Yep, I know what you mean.
I was actually listening to it on the way here.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He's mad. Like I I like Biggie because he's like, with Tupac, you've got like political messages and cultural and all
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff. Whereas Biggie, you might have some songs that do, but most of them are just about being happy,
Yeah.
enjoying the moment with your mates and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And it's just this cool kind of vibe. So yeah, I can feel. Had a few Biggies. Had
What
a
if
few
I had to choose like a...
current.
Yeah, no, well, not even...
Oh, okay.
Like, not even with rappers, like with a singer. Like,
Okay, singer.
I love Delta Goodrum.
Delta Goodrum.
Yeah.
What?
I love her voice.
Really? She's a good singer, man. She is a good singer, but I never expected Delta Good. What's your favourite song of Delta Goodrum?
No, I just love her as a person. She's just hot.
Well, you got a crush on Delta Goodrum?
Yeah.
Man, okay.
She's like, it goes my wife and then her. And then
She's not a hall pass,
J-Lo.
though, is she?
is she?
Is she a hall pass? Delta Goodrum, like hall pass is in, like, let's say.
Oh, yeah, hall pass. No.
No hall pass.
Hell no. My wife won't even do anything. Nah. But, I love, like, I'm more of like a slow
R&B.
R&B. Like, I love a bit of, like Keith Sweat,
Yeah, 100%. Brian McKnight,
Brian McKnight.
Boys
like,
to Men. So
if I
good,
was
bro. Say the best ever.
Eh?
Like, would you say that he was your
Or
kind of
R&B?
best R&B?
Oh,
Okay.
reggae. Sorry, for me, like I'm a massive reggae. Like
Okay.
UB40s.
It's big in New Zealand, eh?
Yeah,
Reggae.
I
That's
love
something that
UB40.
That's something that when I went there, I was surprised because in Australia it's nowhere near as big, but
Yeah.
in New Zealand it's massive reggae, like
Yeah.
massive compared to
So,
here.
no, yeah, I love. Yeah, I'm more my old schools.
Old school reggae.
Yeah.
And favorite movie of all time.
Favorite movie?
Yeah.
Oh, Love and Basketball Friday.
Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
That's a good movie, man.
It's either that or yeah.
You know, I
yeah,
was
I'd probably say that.
Bro, I was thinking about that the other day. Do they end up together or not? They don't. Hey.
No, they don't.
They don't. And
They do. And they have a
ages
kid,
down.
Yeah.
Ages
Ages
down
down the track.
But they go their own ways for like 10 years or something.
10 years, yeah.
And she goes overseas to play basketball or something.
Basketball, and he goes and play, and then he makes professional,
Yep.
and then she plays. He ends up being professional, and then they have kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
they end up watching when he plays for the Lakers or something.
Yeah. No. Okay. I remember that was a good movie, man. Fuck, that was a good. They don't make them like that no more.
Nah.
They don't. Tell me a movie like that. They're all like corny and shit and like
Yeah.
and just like all this like new rom-coms. It's just no the
Although
same.
there's like I went and watched the movie. Like I know it's like everything's all set like with this movie, but Me Before You.
Is a chick out of Game of Thrones? Is she the main actor?
I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
You don't watch Game of Thrones,
Nah.
bro.
Everyone says it's there. I know.
Do you like
I
Lord of the
know.
Rings?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing, bro?
I know, man.
It's probably better than Game of Thrones. Like,
I don't even get time to watch too much TV.
Really?
Or even Netflix.
what are you
Nah.
just training and stuff, or?
Yeah, I just try to keep myself busy with other things.
Yep.
I get into drawing quite a bit now.
Oh, okay. Like
no,
as in
don't-
cartoons and that?
Nah, just draw anything. Like
Really?
last night
Nice,
I
mate.
drew 3 seashells. Like it was just
It's just what
just
you do.
whatever comes to my mind. I just try and draw.
So, yeah, I guess your artistic side. Have you had much chance to express that over your career? Because I guess you wouldn't have really.
Nah,
It's 'cause-
I'm only just been doing things that make my mind busy.
Yep.
Like would I go down to the pub and do I don't know, have a beer, or should I just sit here and draw? Just sit and
Okay.
draw. Like I just try to do things that make.
So you actively, instead of like when you find yourself thinking about going down to the pub or whatever, you'll be like, let's busy my mind with something else so that I don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Are you a good drawer or are you terrible?
I'll go right.
I go alright.
Oh, not too bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Like have you drawn your whole life or you just?
Nah, I was a little bit like I'm
Yeah.
more joined into like mouldy patterns and that.
Oh,
But
okay.
I just started like copying sketches and that. Like
Yep.
if I see something,
Do you miss home like New Zealand a lot when you're here?
I miss my son, but I don't miss it. Like I think it's I think it's great over here. Like
Yeah, it's so good,
I'm
eh?
enjoying living with my in-laws. Like they, you know, like my father-in-law he's a mad golfer, mad fisherman.
Oh really? So do you go
He's
golfing?
English, huh?
Do you go golfing and fishing with him?
Oh, I go, yeah, fishing and golfing, but I don't play golf.
Yeah, no, neither do I.
He's a good golfer, but he loves it, man. He's
Fucking hell.
he's good fella. And he loves his fishing.
Oh really? Oh man, I don't get I've never met a person that half likes fishing. They either fully love it or they don't.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I've never met a guy that. Anyway, bro, we've gone way over time. We've got no
Right.
battery left, but yeah.
That's all good.
Thanks, so, bro. This has been it's such an eye opening for me personally. I've enjoyed it. It's
Sweet as, bro.
blown my
Nice,
mind,
mate.
bro.